place where they can be able to do this, and they can also be able to grow their skill. It's really motivating to sit down and see young people growing over time, from day one when I meet them to 2 years later when we start reviewing how they've grown. So it's really impressive, but it requires a lot of patience, because then if you're not patient with the young people, then you realize that you might not be able to touch their life. And they also need a lot of mentorship and coaching so that they can be able to grow.
And when we talk about adolescents in particular,
Yes.
we're talking about a particular stage in life,
Yes.
where sometimes it's very hard to tell a young person this is the right thing to do, or this is the path we should take. And at times it is also a stage where most of them will maybe mess up their lives completely, or maybe they need help after that. And also it's a time one can make or break his life. So in your organization now, we're talking about NAYA. What are some of the values maybe you impact? What are your teachings? What do you narrow down into maybe to educate the youths? Or what are your main focus?
Okay, we have different programmatic focus, but one of them is training young people on how to be social advocates, people who can stand for their sexual and reproductive health and rights. Because if you look at our Constitution, Section 43(1)(a) says everyone has the right to health, including reproductive health and rights. And young people form the majority of the population in this country, and that means they really need to be able to stand for their rights. And to do this, they need a lot of trainings. The other thing, once we train these young people, they go out to the community to hold community discussions and forums in terms of sexual and reproductive health and rights. They participate in the budget making process, and they also reach out to other young people through the radio and even the television, and also the new media. So that's all that we do in order to be able to mold young people into the path that we believe will help in shaping their lives.
Okay, and I would love to ask this. Why pick up the youth, especially when we come to reproductive health?
I mean, if you look at young people, we're talking of the Kenya Demographic Health Survey tells us that 7 out of 10 girls and 8 out of 10 boys have had sex before the age of 20. And even the new, the majority of young people are HIV positive. These young people are also unable to access youth-friendly services. They have a lot of sexual and reproductive health challenges, but then they do not know where can they be able to seek services. So then it's as NAYA, then we engage with the policymakers and the government to be able to establish the youth-friendly services, and this requires a lot of budgetary allocation. You need also to train the healthcare providers on how to handle the youth. You need to make sure that the services are accessible. And think of a young person in Turkana who has STIs, and the nearest health facility is maybe 40, 50 kilometers. What happens to this young person? Think of somebody who is 15 years of age, who is pregnant and is giving birth. They have those complications, and they need somewhere that they can be handled with respect, dignity, and without judgmental. So it's very, very critical for us as an organization, because then if you look at the social pillar of the Vision 2030, health is one of them. And then how do you grow a healthy society? Well, you have that society is composed of young people. You need to make a deliberate move to invest in their health. And when you invest in their health, then that means that money that you'll be using for the treatment, preventive health care, you take it to curative health, and then you're growing a robust generation that can be able to transform our economy. And when we transform our economy, then we will be able to realize, be it the Millennium Development Goals, the Vision 2030. So the manpower and the ability to transform this country lies in the hands of young people.
Sorry to ask this, but actually this has to come out in one way or another, because many a times, like you're talking about helping out, we have so many avenues of helping out people, but many organizations, NGOs, and mention them, many have come on board and they only milk money once they get the donors and the other likes, and then they kind of, vanish in between somewhere. How different are you, and how actually do you get to connect to the people and make sure that yours is a different venture?
One, NIA embraces the concept of meaningful youth participation, and that means our young people participate in every stage of the project or program development. And if there is donor funding that has come in, they know how much money we have and how we are going to spend it. We table our audited accounts before young people, because we really like to grow young people who also understand that these are very critical values in terms of growing an organization. The other thing is we do the evidence-based intervention, whereby when we train young people, we are able to track them over the years. How have they grown in terms of their career, and what has changed in them? Are they who they were before? We mentor these young people and we coach them so that they're able to, to be a motivation to other young people to be able to associate with NIA.
Okay. I know a lot of guys, when you talk about the youths, there are so many things to be concerned about, like people would want to know where NIA is, or you may want to ask a question to our guest. Just do so by sending an SMS to 81144. And back to our interview, you are located at Hurlingham, right?
Yes.
And when you talk about the youths, as you said earlier, we have youths in Turkana, we have youths all over the country. How far have you gone? Because I believe we youths all over face almost similar challenges at this particular stage in their lives. How deep have you gone into the country? And maybe if you haven't, do you have plans to go deeper and to expand?
Thank you very much. We are expanding, and currently we have projects that are running in Kisumu, Migori, Siaya, and Nairobi. And as I did point out, we will be, by mid next year, we'll be in Eldoret, Nakuru, Samburu, and Meru, and then that will be the first phase. Then the next phase will look at the needs of of other young people, so that we can be able to expand this. But you will agree with me that such expansion requires a lot of resources, and they also require that dedication and teamwork and a lot of goodwill from young people. And this is the bridge that NIA has put in place, so that the young people can be able to trust us, one, with their life, and also trust us that we are going to mold their life positively for the impact of the society.
Okay, I'm looking at a scenario whereby you only offer education.
Yes.
And many of the youths are out there looking out for something tangible. It's, yes, I can work for you, I can volunteer, I can do the other likes, but at the end of it all, what other else do you offer other than education? Do you offer jobs or kind of anything of the sort?
Thank you very much. We offer internship opportunities for young people, either at NIA or in other organizations that we partner with. The other thing is we also have young people who come to NIA, but because of the connections we have with the organization, we are able to place other young people into the job opportunities. And one thing you do realize that young people, as they are growing up, most of the time you'll be asked 5 years experience, but they don't have. So where do they get this experience? NIA offers such experience in terms of programmatic and personal development, but also we ensure that when they're doing these activities, they can be able to sustain a few things like their commuting and communication, and then that makes them also give back to the organization and give back to the society.
Among the issues that you deal with, I believe sex is a big part of it, because young guys, as as young as 14, 15, they are engaging in sexual activities when they are very young. And when we are growing up, our parents and those who are around us, and also a lot of guys have, they just say you have, the young people will say chill or just abstain. That has been the message. And I believe it should be the message for the young guys, those 12 years and 14 years of age. But also another day we saw a lot of people, especially religious leaders, coming out and condemning the issues of condoms. We have those companies. Why would they want to come and talk about maybe things like condom? Because that is business for them. As an organization, I know you have very young guys. What is your take on this issue? And also, if you don't tell them to protect themselves, I know it's a bit challenging, especially when we're talking.
Health.
Yeah,
it's always a debatable.
Yeah, they are so young. So what do you tell the young guys? Is it the chill mode, or is it protect yourself, or how do you go about it, or do you have categories where there is someone you can tell this, or you just educate them generally, or do you go separate ways?
I mean, thank you very much. We have the young people, but we have information package for different segments of the young people that we work with. But the fact of the matter is, while we believe that people who are 12, 13 years, we need just to use abstinence, but research has also shown that abstinence-only intervention does not really work with the young people. Because young people, the truth of the matter is, young people are engaging in sex. And that's why you have between 15 to 24, they form over 51% of new HIV infection. Yeah. So what do? We need to have a multi-approach to all this. The young people who are abstaining, that's good. There are young people who are not abstaining, but you cannot look at young people so that who are not abstaining, then we condemn them, because then that will be burying our heads in the sand. So those who do not abstain, I mean, they use condoms. Look at, for example, the issues, for example, of unsafe abortion. Among it's so rampant among young people. We're talking of around 300,000 cases annually of unsafe abortion. Yeah. Then, I mean, of abortion cases. Then 20,000 of that 300,000, they get hospitalized. Yeah. Over 8,000 die annually. And a good percentage of these are young people. But what are some of the predisposing factors? One of them is unprotected sex among young people.
Okay, actually, we will be picking up from there, unprotected sex. Actually, viewer, the debate around here is reproductive health, and especially among the youth. It's time we, awoke to the topic. According to the statistics of which we've had 15 to 24 comprise of 51% of the new HIV cases.
Yeah,
actually,
very sad,
that is actually saddening, but we'll get to discuss more and more. So please stay tuned to GBS. We'll watch a small video clip, then we'll get back to you.
Apart from offering education, the network has also been in the front line to ensure that healthcare is available, something which the beneficiaries term as dream come true.
An ideal situation for youth-friendly services, according to NAYA, is a place where a young person can get treatment on STD and STI, that's sexually transmitted disease or a sexually transmitted infection, when they need it, regardless of their age. Apart from that, they can be able to access any kind of information and facts regarding sexual reproductive health and rights. Also, they're able to be treated with the right attitude from the service providers, and there's an aspect of privacy and confidentiality. We've had recent incidences where young people come and confide and tell us. We've gone to a health facility and we found out that the provider is actually discussing my issue with the other nurses or doctors around.
Indeed, once your heart is connected to another person's heart, you feel more secure to confide to such people, and NAYA will never stop until it wins the heart of many young people.
Yeah, so an ideal place where a young person would get youth-friendly services should be private, and confidentiality should be maintained. Apart from that, a great aspect of friendliness and openness should be created, such that a young person is able to come to you as a service provider and share out whatever issue they're going through and be able to discuss with you openly. Also, guidance and counseling should be provided, and not imposing your decision according to what you feel is right to this particular young person. Then, topping it to that, we should also make sure that young people who are of reproductive age can be able to access contraceptives, but that should be determined and the decision should be liaised with the service provider as well.
According to Victor, it's not an easy task running such a network because, for one, to teach young people, understanding is a key quality which many people hardly possesses.
One of the things we stress on is we look at what are the strengths of a person. That is the first thing, so that we assign duties and responsibilities based on your strength. But it takes it takes a lot of patience to work with young people, because you get young people who are fresh from school, and also you get young people, maybe they do not have the required qualification, but they have that experience and they have that ability to work. So it also takes a lot of time. You need to understand these people and understand different group dynamics within the young people, be able to mentor them and appreciate that for young people to grow in their career, somebody must give them that chance to make mistakes, and that somebody must be me. And I'm willing to give young people that opportunity to be able to make mistakes. Then I mentor them and course correct whatever happens. The other thing is young people currently are not able to get placements in terms of